going on, guys, and welcome to today's video. And this video is going to be kind of a directional or informative video on how to reset your Jeep Wagoneer S or Dodge Charger EV in the event that it acts up. And you might be wondering, well, why are you doing this video on a issue? Because yeah, these things are having quite a few issues. I still want to make a dedicated video talking about the issues, but there is a Facebook group, the Wagoneer S Owners Facebook group, and I've been in there pretty frequently trying to help owners out, explaining what to do when bad things happen because, yeah, there's a lot of electrical issues and software issues with this thing that has recently come out. So today we are going to be explaining how to do two different service procedures. Now, these aren't necessarily service procedures in the dealer world, but this is service procedures that I've kind of come up with to keep this poor thing moving, because the wife has been daily driving this thing and she has been stranded 4, 5, 6 times now, and we have gotten it moving every single time. So we're going to be talking about a hard reset and a soft reset. Now, again, these are all just my made up terms, my made up procedures, but so far, every single time we've had an issue, this has brought the vehicle back and gotten it moving on the road again. So first off, the hard reset. This has needed to happen once or twice now with the vehicle. Just recently, we were backing down the driveway, fired the vehicle up, backed down the driveway, got all the way to the end of the driveway, went from reverse to drive, and the vehicle absolutely lost its mind. Every single warning message on the dash, vehicle reduced power, vehicle service electric system message. I mean, again, every message, flashing shifter, the vehicle would not move. It wouldn't go forward, wouldn't go reverse. It was dead in the water. So we performed, or I performed, the hard reset. So for that, we are going to need to get to the 12-volt battery on the vehicle. And again, the only tool that we're going to need is a 10mm wrench. So it might be advisable to grab an extra 10mm wrench, throw it in the glove box of this thing, at least until software updates get done, get handled on these, and they are a little bit happier out on the road. So say the vehicle shuts you down, leaves you stranded, and we need to do the hard reset. We are going to hopefully be able to open the liftgate, and we have been able to every single time we've had an issue. And here in the back is where we are going to be accessing the 12-volt battery. Now we do need to get a couple of things out of the way here. We've got our trunk mat and the cargo shelf. You do not need to remove it, but for the sake of the video, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this just so you guys can get a little better look at what the heck I'm doing. Now guys, with this removed, what we are trying to get to is this large trim panel. This is what covers the 12-volt battery. So now with that 10mm wrench, we can also kind of use this as a prying tool to help get this panel off. Again, we are able to kind of shove it under the trim here, pop it out, and then we are going to pull the trim directly towards the inside of the vehicle. Not up, not back, not forward, but directly inside of the vehicle. And just like that, we've got it off. Now, there are a bunch of plastic clips on this thing, and these clips absolutely do not stay in place. I've had this panel off a few times, and I'm already missing multiple clips. They've fallen off. I found one here just right next to the battery, and again, they do snap right back on, but that's not a great clip for something that needs to come on and off, apparently a whole bunch. So guys, now that we've got that trim panel out of the way, we can get to our 12-volt battery. This is kind of our weird shaped 12-volt battery here that lives in the back. Now, the easy accessible terminal to get to is the negative cable. We've even got a really nice 10mm nut here up on top of our intelligent battery sensor. So now the easy thing to do is just take this nut loose. Now I will say, before you take this loose, if possible, if your vehicle is alive enough to go ahead and turn the ignition switch off. It won't always turn off. If it is in complete freak out mode, it potentially will not turn off. And again, just go ahead and disconnect the battery, even with the ignition turned on and everything angry. Again, we're going to take this nut loose off of the negative terminal here for the, again, this is the intelligent battery sensor. We're going to lift this off and pull the cable away. Now, how long do we need to leave this unhooked? And I don't really have a exact time for us. The last time this happened to us, I left it unhooked for 30 seconds or so, went ahead and hooked it back up, and everything acted completely normal with no issues. Again, going back together, all we've got to do is hook this back up. We are going to have just a teeny little spark here because we are connecting the battery. But again, we will get our nut spun back on. Go ahead and tighten that thing down. Now, if you have not been back here to your battery and your vehicle was not PDI'd or checked in at the dealership by yours truly, it would probably be a very good time to check the battery cable, ends for tightness. As you guys can see, we have a 10mm nut here on the actual battery cable that we can make sure it is tight. Again, that needs to be tight. And also it is kind of a bear, but underneath this red cap, there's a couple of plastic clips. You can pop that up. And again, there is another 10mm nut on the on the positive terminal to the battery. Another thing I've seen on multiple in the dealership are the nut that holds the battery strap down being loose. Again, go ahead and make sure that thing is tight. Make sure your battery's not bouncing around in the vehicle. Now at this point, we are ready to throw our trim back on through our trim panel or cargo load floor back in, shut our lift gate, and then start the vehicle. And now guys, like I said, jumping back into this thing, we're able to start it up like normal. And like we see now, start the vehicle with no faults on the dash. Again, you guys know what we're talking about here. The turtle light, the service electric vehicle, lobster light, all of those lights that we Wagoneer owners are pretty constantly seeing. That is going to be one of the ways to take care of it if it has gone really badly. Now guys, for the second method, or the soft reset as I call it. Now this one has been used on this Wagoneer many times. This one has, again, multiple times where it has went into the power reduced mode. That big turtle comes up on the dash to greet you and let you know the vehicle is in reduced power mode. Or again, multiple times where it has been started and won't go into gear. You've got a flashing shifter light that, again, won't allow you to go into gear. This kind of easier method will not always work if it's in complete freakout mode and the 12-volt battery needs unhooked. But this method is technically doing a vehicle bus cycle for the electrical system on the vehicle. If we've got the vehicle, again, acting up, multiple messages on, won't go into gear, etc., what we can again do is a vehicle bus cycle. Sitting in the vehicle, we can power the vehicle off with our ignition switch. Once the vehicle is turned off, we're going to need to open and close the door to simulate us, getting out of the vehicle. We, again, can stay in the vehicle, but again, opening and closing the door typically will help this process. Once you have opened and closed the door, we are going to sit there and wait for all of the dash screens, the instrument cluster, the radio, all of those screens to power off. Now, this is going to take multiple minutes, but once all of those screens have powered off, we are again going to open and close the door to wake up the electrical system and then put our foot on the brake and hit the power button. And every single time, except for the few times that have needed the 12-volt battery disconnect, that has completely fixed the vehicle, fixed and cleared those faults that are coming up on the dash, and allowed this thing to be driven, whether the wife's out somewhere and needing to come back home, or again, multiple times we have gotten the reduced power mode as the vehicle's driving, coming up to a stop, and boom, we've got reduced power mode. She's able to pull off the road. let the vehicle do a bus cycle, fire it back up, and continue on like there is no issue. So again, guys, say we are sitting in the vehicle, we've got warning messages on, reduced power, what have you. Again, that kind of method will be shutting the vehicle off and sitting here, opening, closing our doors. Again, that turned off our radio screens and the lower display, but now we are going to sit in the vehicle and wait for the remaining power to go to sleep. That's what it's called in the computer module world. When a computer module fully powers down, you guys can see we've got lights still here on the switch bank, and our instrument cluster screen is still turned on. So again, we are just sitting here waiting and waiting for all of these to power down. Once these power down, again, we're able to open and close the door, hit our brake pedal, and then start the vehicle like normal. And every single time we've gotten a fault like that, we're able to get the vehicle moving again. Okay, so that was about 2 minutes or so of waiting for that main screen to finally power down. And again, once that is shut off, we're able to open and close the door. That again wakes up the bus system. You can see we've got the cluster back on, we've got the switch bank back on, put our foot on the brake pedal, start the vehicle, and again, hopefully take care, clear, reset those faults, and allow the vehicle to be driven and it move again on the road. So guys, hopefully this was helpful if you are a Wagoneer S owner or a Charger EV owner. Again, the battery is in the same location. There's a different panel in those chargers to remove and get out of the way. But again, all of this process would be the same kind of steps to get that moving again. I actually have a good friend with a Charger EV that his went into full freak out mode in his garage, wouldn't start, wouldn't go into gear, all the lights flashing. I again talked him through the battery disconnect process there in his garage, hooked it back up, and the vehicle acted completely normal. So again, this same procedure is going to take care of your Charger EVs. Now, what is the proper fix for this? Again, all of these issues are just software issues of the vehicle. There's not really any hard parts that are bad, anything broken. Again, it just needs software updates. But unfortunately, us technicians don't have any way to push or get those software updates out any sooner, even though we know we've got issues here, and us owners absolutely know we've got issues. So hopefully, I will keep you guys informed on the Wagoneer S Facebook group as we develop, as we get updates, and hopefully get these darn things acting a little bit better and don't have so many turtle and lobster lights on the dash. And if any of you EV haters are still watching this late into the video, you can comment down below and say, haha, I told you EVs are dumb. But for you EV owners, you Wagoneer S and Charger owners, let me know if you've had any of these issues. I kind of know that you have, and what you've done to get yours moving again. I've seen a whole bunch of people having theirs towed to the dealership for all of these issues. And yes, that would be a proper fix if there would be software updates. But again, like I said, there's no real updates out yet. So if you now know how to get your vehicle reset, bring you a 10mm wrench, throw it in the glove box so you can kind of more competently drive around in your new Wagoneer S. So guys, thanks for coming out into the garage with me and hopefully rendering your EV a little less broken when it does break, because I know it will. And guys, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.